Hey everybody, it's your girl Leilah Loca, and we're back with another episode of Loca's Vibe Check, where we sit down with artists, entrepreneurs, and business owners and talk about their movement and what they bring into the community. So today we have T. Carriér, a producer, actor, rapper, and songwriter.
Yeah, everything.
Everything, right? Yeah. All right, so welcome to the platform.
Man, thank you for having me. Hey, I'm just glad to be talking to a black woman.
Oh,
This
you
is
know
tight.
what? You come to Loca's Vibe Check.
Yeah.
We black over here.
This
no.
is refreshing. It's refreshing.
So just getting into your creative process and being all those things that you are, if someone were to get to know you, where would you want them to start first? The acting side of you, the producing side, rapper, etc.
I mean, I'm always going to expect it to be the music first. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Because that's the most pure version of me. You know, that's where I'm the most honest. That's where you're going. In life, there may be things I may not want to speak about out loud, but I'm gonna put it in the music. So if you I always tell people, if you truly want to get to know me, you got to go listen to my albums. You got to go listen to my songs because I'm very vulnerable in my music, like almost like a diary. Mm-hmm. But like I'm a private guy too, so like in the music, that's where I feel the most pure. So in reality, yeah, just go start with the music and then venture out from there because that's the catalyst of everything else. You know what I mean?
So what made you, or what moment made you realize that you were more than just a rapper?
That's a good question. I love that question. I feel like it wasn't like a specific moment, but it was kind of like just an accumulation of years of me just like seeing that it's possible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in the era of like all the rappers turning into actors, and you know, you had Ice-T, Pac, Queen Latifah, Will Smith. Like you just started seeing all these people. Even Common, I forget about Common sometimes. You see all these people that you know that used to rap that ended up. I'm gonna forget Ice Cube. What the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you just see all these people that came from hip hop and ended up being actors and you know, filmmakers and things like that. So I just kind of always knew that it was possible. And then eventually I said, like, if I'm ever blessed enough to get in that position, I want to try it. And I always been a character, you know what I mean? So, like, everybody that knows me just always viewed me as somebody who was, I don't want to say class clown because I don't like the word clown. But I was very much an entertainer from day one, you know? So it just always kind of felt like that's what I'm supposed to be doing no matter what.
And you seem so calm and kind of like
well, I'm high right now, so that's why.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
You know,
I'm not joking about being high,
but it's funny that you say that because I was just talking to someone about some of my favorite episodes growing up. They always introduced an artist on there, and it just made the episode. Like you would literally wait till it dropped. Like your whole family sit down in front of the TV to watch or whatever.
For sure.
Like sister. They would always bring somebody for whoever. So I agree with you. I feel like a lot of people that are artists, or we should go back to kind of doing that kind of thing.
Yeah,
the multi-talent.
Because it's art. It's like it's subjective. Like you know, when I was in high school, we had like the electives or whatever, like drama and theater and all of that. And I remember I didn't really want to do it, but I wasn't really making none of my A through G requirements at the time. So my guidance counselor was like, look, bro, you need some credits.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some of these electives and kind of get you up to speed. So she threw me in the theater thing. And I felt some kind of way at first because, you know what I mean, it wasn't too many people in there that looked like me. So I was like, man, I ain't trying to do this. But when I got in there, the teacher I had, I forget his name. He was a nerd, but he was cool. And what's that show? Whose Line Is It Anyway? Mm-hmm. Like he did these exercises in the class that was like improv exercises, and I was always hella good at that because I'm always good at just making up jokes on the spot and just going with the flow and jumping into character. And then I kind of learned through that I was like even good at acting low key. And then I did a brief stint at Solano College in Fairfield for those that don't know. Mm-hmm. And then I did theater there too. And it was this dude named George. Oh my God, I always forget his name. But he was like a very well-known extra in the industry. He was a teacher over at Solano. And he had been in like Fight Club, Pursuit of Happiness, like all these different films. And he was my instructor up there. But like we did like monologues and different things. And he was just always telling me like, bro, you talented. Like, if you ever want to do this, you should do it. Mm-hmm. I ain't trying to hear him, you know what I mean? So fast forward to today, and here we are, you know what I mean?
So, like you said, fast forward today, you are on a show called Reckless Behavior,
Yeah.
and you play Passion.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Passion's character
Oh man.
without giving away too much? Because I still want people to check it out for themselves.
Nah, yeah, please go check it out. It's streaming everywhere. Well, not everywhere. Let me be specific. It's on Amazon Prime, the new season. We just got picked up on Amazon Prime, and then the previous 2 seasons are still on Tubi right now. So I think season 3 is coming to Tubi as well. But I do play Passion, and Passion is kind of like an exaggerated version of like every rapper you could think of. In my opinion, that's kind of what I tried to pull from. Is just like the cliches and the stereotypes that they have out there about rappers. And when I got asked to do the part, it was kind of like originally supposed to be like a cameo of myself. And then we reworked it to become Passion, because there was some stuff I was like, hey, I don't want that attached to T. Carriér, you feel me? But Passion is definitely, a menace in so many ways. Like he definitely is always causing problems for the women in his life, for the friends in his life. He apparently doesn't really care about nobody but himself. And I have fun playing him, but it's kind of like it's taxing on my mental. It's taxing on my mental. But people enjoy the character, and then some of them, have fun hating the character as well.
Yeah.
So it's
He's like the modern day fuck boy.
100%, yeah,
Well, we know
100%. And just for those who know, it's a character. Stop asking me if that's me, because that's what everybody assumes. But yeah.
So you said that playing Passion is taking a toll on your mental health. What has it taught you about yourself, playing Passion, but also being T. Carriér?
What has it taught me? I mean, really, if anything, it just taught me to be more mindful of how I handle my relationships in life, and not just the intimate ones, but even like the platonic ones, and how your words can affect people. Because it's one of the things that's like when I'm doing some of these lines in the show. Like, even when I watch it back, I'm like, oh, man, what the fuck? I don't even remember how that sounded out loud. But, yeah, it's just teaching me kind of just to be more respectful of people's energy, you know what I'm saying? And because I'm not so different from Passion, but it's like that's not my everyday life, you know what I mean? We all got a little bit of that in us, but, I'm a lot more kinder than people may assume. So just being more kind and, not trying to hurt people, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you had to tap into some different emotions, right? So which emotions, or what did you feel, or how do you feel when you play that person?
I think what it is like we all have like traumas and things like that we may have like compartmentalized. So a lot of times, when I'm saying certain things, when I'm in character, I would pull from traumatic places where I may have been upset, or I may have felt hatred or whatever, you know what I mean? But it does disrupt your peace a little bit. So like I'm glad to be done filming right now, because trying to stay in that was kind of like affecting me a little bit. But it's fun though. Like at the end of the day, I'm able to separate, and I have a great time doing stuff like this. So it's amazing. So
let's kind of dive into your music.
Okay.
So you recently dropped a song called "Play a Shit." So what does that song mean to you? Man, and what inspired it?
Play a shit is it's a dog whistle to the players out there that understand what I'm talking about. It's really not for like mainstream consumption, because most people hear, they like, okay, it's another dude talking about having a bunch of women, but it's really not about having a bunch of women. It's about knowing when to tell women the truth and when to give them opportunities to make choices for themselves. And it's kind of like, as a man who has had a lot of interactions with women, I think like when I was younger, I used to feel like insecure about telling them the truth. Like sometimes it used to be better to be like, oh, I'm a lie so I can get what I need.
Right.
But at some point, you tell a woman the truth, she still might be with it. You know what I mean? Or you give her an opportunity to be like, no, I'm not, and then she can move on. So it's really just a dog whistle to the players and let them know, like, tell the truth, man. If you're not ready for that energy, let her know. You know what I mean? And when the time comes, send her a text or something.
So when you were writing music, or when you were writing this particular song, were you pulling those emotions from who you are today, who you were in the past?
It's all me. You know what I'm saying? And I think like that's something that I want a lot of artists and songwriters to get away from, is to feel like you have to constantly create from the now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, you know, sometimes like when it comes to making timeless records, you don't necessarily need to speak on current events to make it relevant.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I pull from things that happened to me 15 years ago just because it may fit a conversation I want to have today. Still me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't make it irrelevant to my current character, you know what I mean? But it's entertainment too. So I think sometimes people get caught up in like, if I don't speak about my current life, it's not authentic. And I don't believe in that. I think if it's from you and you can say you witnessed it and experienced it, then talk about it. You know what I mean? Because that's how I pull from my creativity. Yeah. It's all me. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'll be dating somebody and they'll hear a line and be like, hey. But I'm like, it's me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily meant to affect you, but it's for me to be able to talk to who I need to talk to. You know what I mean?
I always wondered that because I was like, I could never date a rapper if they talking about, oh, this girl, da, da, da.
Yeah.
Like,
and I talk about, and I always talk about my relationships in my music. Like, whether I'm talking about an old one or a current one. So I do get people calling me like, yo, was this line about me? And sometimes I'm like, yeah, it was. But, you know, most cases I have to kind of defend that, you know what I mean? So I'm just too honest in my music to the point where even I tell them myself, you know what I mean?
So what projects are coming after Play Your Shit?
So I just dropped 4 albums at the end of 2024. I dropped an album called Strength, another one called Focus, Grinding While Grieving, which was like an ode to me losing my mother in the summer. And then I just recently put out the last one was Crash Out Mode. And Play Your Shit, I believe, is from the album Strength. But they all kind of, even though it's 4 different albums, they all kind of felt like a collection. So I just been putting out the different pieces and visuals and things like that from the album. But right now I'm working on a new mixtape. It's a 3rd installment to my series, my mixtape series called Let That Marinate. So Let That Marinate 3 is on the way. And like after I leave here, I got to go finish recording. Okay. Yeah, type.
First off, sorry about your mother.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
How was that, creating that album, going through such a rough time?
That's honestly what got me through it. You know what I mean? Because like, and I told this story before, but my daughter was actually the one who kind of poked at me about it. Like, not because of, you know, us losing my mother, but it was because she was just like, hey, I'm at school showing people your Spotify and your numbers are hella weak. So she was like,
at least she was on it.
Nah, straight up, shout out to my baby Tia, but like she was like Pops, you not popping like that. What we doing? So that was a month after my mom died. So I'm like, damn, you know, like that's how you feel. So I just kind of put myself in this different zone. Like, you know what? I'm gonna try to drop like 4 albums in the last quarter of the year and just see what happens. And it challenged me to actually get a lot better at not caring about being perfect, not caring about like saying all the right things. I just said exactly what I wanted to say, and it actually was refreshing. Like I talked about my mom, and I talked about her in a way where she became like this, you know, entity versus just like, normally when I talk about my mom in the song, it's like me trying to speak to her. So when she hears it, she's like, oh yeah, you feel me? Now I'm speaking to her as if like she's the creator of all of this. You know what I mean? Like she's the big homie.
Yeah.
In the song. So it was actually kind of cool to do that. And I think it was helping me get through the process instead of like just sitting in the corner crying like I was doing the first month or two. It gave me an opportunity to kind of like make her proud in a different way. You know what I mean? So probably the best body of works I've done, honestly, because I had her guiding me on the spiritual side. You know what I mean? For real, it was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from those 4 albums, you did say you are dropping a mixtape. Do we know when that's coming out?
I'm impulsive, so it's gonna drop as soon as it's done.
Okay.
Like I don't have, because you know, like artists out there, stop giving yourself fake deadlines, bro. Nobody is in charge of your situation. You don't got a label bothering you. There is nobody really waiting on this shit. So when it's done, just put it out. Unless obviously you trying to put together a rollout of like visuals and things like that. I'm here for that because obviously we gotta care. But like there ain't no particular time. I'm not waiting for Drake to move. I'm not waiting for Kendrick to move. Like I'm dropping my shit whenever it's ready. So Let That Marinate 3 is, you know, for those that listen to the first 2, that's when I start to have the most fun and just kind of put out records that we could dance to and vibe to.
Yeah.
There is no,
fun album.
yeah, there is no like huge story or theme behind it. You know what I mean? I just want to make some slaps real quick.
Yeah.
So that's what
But
this
just
is.
going back to what you said about there's no deadlines, I heavily resonate with that because for a long time it makes you feel like you're on a time clock. Like if you don't do this by this time, then you need to give up. But a couple of weeks ago when LaRussell was here, when I asked him when his next album, Sober, was coming out, he was like, oh, it's coming out next week or whatever he said. And I went home and he was like, fuck it, I'm dropping it now. So, you know, I think
because
a
it
lot
don't
of people
matter.
feel that. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
This shit don't matter. I mean, like, there was a time when it did matter, right? Because, like, I think even now, like, it used to be a time, not trying to put an age on myself, but just being real, it'd be a time you can only drop on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then they opened it up to, like, I believe Fridays or some shit. And now you could drop any day. Like, you could drop it on a Thursday. You know what I mean? So with me knowing that, I don't even try to work within those parameters. I just create. You know what I'm saying? And when the shit feel right and I got the cover done and I feel like I done took care of all my producers and everything, let's put it out.
So just going back to reckless behavior.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit before the cameras were rolling about you learning how to be a director and learning the business aspect of things like that. How did you navigate that? And what is the best part of being a director?
Whew. Man, shout out to Michaela, man, because she asked me to direct an episode, or better yet, she asked me if I wanted to, and I wanted to be like, hell no, because it just felt like an overwhelming task at the time. I got so comfortable with just being in front of the camera, and even as a producer, because I'm also a producer on the show. I was always okay with consulting and giving ideas, but then now that I got to direct the episode, it was a lot of pressure, right? So I took on the challenge because I wanted to see if I could. And I tell you what, it was probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done outside of making music.
Yeah.
Something about getting with the talent and like guiding them through what they need to do and setting the scene. And man, it gave me like a bug that I didn't even expect to feel. You know what I mean? So it's like now I want to direct everything and I want to make more film. I'm in the process of working on a film right now that I plan on directing. And I don't know if I should tell people this because I don't know if she's going to commit to it yet. But Michaela and I are working on that script for that movie. Okay. And I plan on directing it and starring in it as well. So it's just something now that I feel like is a part of who I already am because I'm good at identifying talent and then also knowing how to cultivate it a little bit. Like I got this one situation in the episode that I directed where I don't want to give it away because I still want you to watch it.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where I need the young lady to get me more anger because she's speaking to a gentleman that she should be extremely angry with. And at the time, she's such a sweet lady in real life. Like she was almost like being nice to him. Like, can you please not do that? And I'm like, cut, like, hey, come here. And I said some things to her to get her mad, like purposely. And she was pissed with me. I could tell, you know what I mean? And when we went back into the scene, the version you see is me after I gave her that nudge.
Yeah.
And her performance is incredible, right? So that was rewarding to see that because I'm like, damn, I thought I made her mad in a way where she wasn't going to perform, but she ended up giving us everything we needed. So with stuff like that, it's just being like it's another version of creativity. It's like, how can you visualize this? Like, there's a scene where I was able to like create a fake ambiance in a restaurant, like where everyone in the restaurant is an extra and an actor. But we had moving parts where the waiter was, the hostess guy, and it was just like a whole thing that I had visualized in my head, and it was kind of clean to see it come together. So. Yeah, I'm in it now. I'm here. Yeah, for sure.
So that was actually what I was going to ask you. Since being an artist and becoming a director, do you look at some of your own projects and kind of visualize or just be like, I'm going to just take the reins on this. I'll just be the director on this, now from here on out, because I'm pretty sure prior to this, prior to being a director, you had your own vision, but you still, like you said, had the guise of somebody else.
Yeah.
Now do you just take the reins and just...
Well, 1,000%, because I think, like, first of all, we already in the era of do-it-yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is, cap cut. You got to be able to edit your own videos. You got to be able to, create your own content and different things like that. And I think the pandemic kind of exposed that to a lot of us because we were sitting at home trying to figure things out. And if you wanted to be in this industry, you kind of had to be self-sufficient. So I encourage it, but I also think where you should be honest what areas you're not strong in. So like clearly, I'm not a camera guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not somebody that's really hard with the DP side. So I might hire a DP that I know is really good at what he does, but I'm still direct it through my eyes and tell him to shoot it like this. And eventually, maybe I do get good with a camera. But right now, I know that's not my strength. So it's really just kind of like about pulling in the people where you know they already good and then, you know, exploiting your side of it. But it's not about like wanting to keep people out of work because I do think there's something to be said about empowering others to give them opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm trying to hoard the opportunities, but I do need to make sure that it's my vision though. You know what I mean? To some extent. Because I remember like back in the day, I used to pay, and I'm on you dudes right now for taxing for all them fucking music videos and calling yourselves directors when y'all really was just guys with cameras.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like dudes would be like, oh, I need 3,000 for the video. Okay, bet. I'm giving you the 3,000 because your name carries some type of weight, but you ain't direct shit. I directed it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like realizing that too is like, I'm doing all the work. I just need to make sure that at least now I'm putting the funds in the places where they deserve to be. You know what I mean?
So since you move across all these avenues, rapper, producer, you know, director, actor, are you narrating like one big story when people think about T. Carriér or?
It's a great question, man. It's all you know, for me, that's why I enjoy where I'm at in my career because there is no such thing for me as one anything. It's like, look at guys like Snoop, you know, look at you know, people like him where he transcends across so many different genres and you know, one day you might see this nigga on the Olympics.
Wait, pause, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
I just saw the other day that Snoop is a master sushi chef because he has good rolling skills.
Exactly.
I'm like, this nigga's incredible.
He does everything, right?
Yeah.
And we know Snoop from rap. Like, you know, like my mother and Snoop have the same birthday, right? So just growing up, my mom loved Snoop. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you look at like what she met him as. She met him as Snoop Doggy Dogg, the rapper. And for him to be Martha Stewart's counterpart and fucking, you know, just so many different things he's
really
done.
Good actor, great man.
There is no pigeonholing somebody like Snoop, right? So when you think, and same with LL and all these different people, right? I just want to be everything. I don't want to be stuck in no box. And you know, T. Carriér is a brand. I tell people all the time, it's like I'm no different than Coca-Cola. I'm no different than, you know, Jelly Belly because you know we in Fairfield. I don't want to discredit myself into thinking that I have to be one thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like when my kids think of T. Carriér, it's like, yeah, that's my dad, but it's an enterprise of different sub businesses and different things. You know what I'm saying? I got a fragrance line that I'm working on for women, not for dudes, by the way. I got different things coming from my whole brand. That's like, you can't just say it's about music. So music obviously was the catalyst, like most of us from the hood, you know, but it's deeper than that now. So the story I'm telling is just great black business, for sure. Like generational wealth in the sense of like, you know, my parents, they were not presented the opportunity to do nothing like that. You know, like they got, you know, you have kids back in the 80s and whatever I was born, you got to jump out there and just get a fucking job. You ain't got time to dream no more. You know what I'm saying? My mother was a cosmetologist her whole life, and her dream was to have a salon called Christine's Creation. So guess what? I'm finna give it to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm finna create that for her and create a line through my mother's brand and shit like that. You know what I mean? But my dad, you know, he fulfilled his dream. He wanted to do what he did in the streets and shit like that, right? So it's a different time now where, like, I remember I went to Facebook's campus for the first time one time, right, to do a tour. Man, I'm seeing these white kids walking around with, like, Birkenstocks on and cargo shorts. I'm like, oh, they on breakers? Like, is they off? And they like, nah, nigga, this is they work clothes. And I'm like, that's tight as hell, you feel me? They got alcohol cabinets at their desk. They got all this shit or whatever. And I'm like, imagine I'm in school and I seen that this was a destination.
Yep.
It wasn't a destination when I was there. We barely had MySpace. You understand what I'm saying? But if I'd have known I could have went to school and potentially got a job at Facebook, I might have set my ass still a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And been able to benefit from what the world is today. I didn't know. So now that I'm aware of it, I'm trying to set my kids up so they could be entrepreneurs and potential business owners. Like my daughter right now, my 13-year-old daughter is an author. She has like books written.
Good, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she got like 2 book series, and her and her friend, they write the books together. I told them when they're ready, let's publish them. Let's put them up on Amazon and let people purchase them. You know what I mean? And you know, she's into editing or whatever, so she has a bunch of edits that she do on Pinterest, and she's like popping on Pinterest.
Good.
But she sees her dad being a creative. She like, I could do it. You know what I'm saying? So
I was gonna say, especially in this time where now parents can support their kids
100%.
doing their dreams.
So that's really what it's about. You know what I mean? I also got my lifestyle brand, Purple Luxury Club. And, you know, that was cultivated at a time during COVID where I was like, okay, it's time to pivot. You never know. Music might fizzle out. And now Purple Luxury Club has become like such a thing. It's like people don't know if it's a record company. They don't know if it's a, you know what I mean? So my daughter is seeing that. Like my dad has his own brand, you know what I mean? She's wearing the shirt to school and shit.
It's a big umbrella.
It's a big deal. Yeah, for sure.
When you're not in the spotlight, are there things that you create just for you? So even though I have Loca's Vibe Check, when I'm not, you know, I'll record like cooking, I'll record, you know, what are the things that make you happy aside from working? Because it seems that you work a lot.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I have to.
Fortunately.
Yeah, fortunately and unfortunately,
Yeah.
but I have to. But right now, my passion outside of work is my fitness and my health, right? Because, and this is really important, I want to speak on this because both of my parents are in compromised situations due to health.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I lost my mother to congestive heart failure, and my father is currently a double amputee because of diabetes, right? So I witnessed these things, and I'm only 38. My pops found out he was a diabetic at 35. You understand what I'm saying? And then my mother had some complications kind of like around that time as well. And it's kind of crazy because it's like in the black community especially, like health is secondary to us. Damn near not even secondary. It's like the last on the, you know what I mean? Because we prioritize money. We prioritize all these other things. And then like when the doctor tell you, hey, your sugars is high, then we try to revert into this lifestyle that we don't even know about. It's impossible now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've gotten to a point now where it's too late.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I'm always like, if we can prevent that shit, let's figure that out. So on the heels of my mother passing is when I dive deeper into my health journey, and I go to the gym damn near every day. You know what I mean? I'm going after I leave here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go get my workout in and then hit the studio. You know what I'm saying? But just anything related to like being able to get in that gym, lift weights, it's therapeutic in so many ways. And then I also play basketball, which, you know, still an extension of my fitness. But, you know, I'm 38 years old and I'm still out there hooping and doing everything. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is for me is my health and fitness. And I've seen myself transform over the years. I also had a heart attack at 27.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, I'm 27 years old. And I don't even think I was that damn big. I'm like, what the hell? But just the way I was living, the way I was eating.
It's probably hereditary, you know?
But see, even with the hereditary shit, what's crazy is like, it is, but it ain't. Because, like, a lot of that shit is just us growing up in households with motherfuckers who don't know better.
Yeah.
I lost my grandmother to congestive heart failure. It didn't get passed down to my mom per se. It's just the ideas did. You know what I'm saying?
The habits.
Yeah, the habits. So breaking them habits and re-engineering what we know and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to eat like that to live. You know what I'm saying? We can still enjoy food, but we don't have to overindulge. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's all it is for me. So like, yeah, man. I love the new phase of where I'm at because like it allows me to work a lot. Like my energy levels is up because, you know, I'm not lethargic. I'm not feeling like, oh, I don't want to do that today. It's like, nah, bro, we gonna do it all. It's 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go.
So wrapping up here, because we're reaching our mark, what do you want to be remembered by aside from the credits and the music catalog and who you are?
Just being a real person, you know. This industry will change you if you allow it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an entertainment industry. It's like outside of business and stuff, we are still in an entertainment realm where people is looking to be entertained.
Yeah.
And sometimes motherfuckers will do that at all costs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm someone that not really willing to do that. You know, like I'm a playful guy. I could be jovial and things like that, but I'm also about my business and I'm very serious. So I think that I want people to be mindful of the fact that you can still remain a real person in this industry and still be, effective in the business side. But you don't got to compromise that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Don't become a puppet. Don't allow people to think. Don't think you bigger than the program or big time in people and shit like that. That's my biggest pet peeve. I don't care who you is, man. Stay humble. I didn't met people that was that person.
Yeah.
And they was very humble and very kind and generous with me and shit. And it's like, I can't wrap my mind around it because I got people that got one song out acting like it's parameters between us. You know what I mean? Like, leaving me on scene when I shoot them a DM about business or an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I don't forget things like that. So remain humble, man, because you never know who you're going to see on the way up.
Yep.
You know, those same people, you got to see them on the way down, too. You know, and I've had my fair share of losing sight of that when I was younger. You know, like thinking that I was bigger than the program and allowing myself to mistreat people around me because I thought I was out of here. You feel me? And maybe I was out of here, but, you know, there's no point in me acting like those people don't have any, value. You know what I'm saying? So just being kind to people and just remembering that everybody is somebody. You never know, bro. Like, even you, like, I'm on Loca's Vibe Check. Like, next week, she might get a Prize Picks endorsement. You feel me? No. But imagine you reached out and I'm like, who the fuck is this? I don't know this pod.
Right.
That's how people be acting, right? Like, oh, you ain't even got no episode. Like, people are so funny style about that. But it's like, I'm on here early while you niggas is gonna be waiting to get on here. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm just like one of those kind of people. Like, just I want people, as of my journey, not to compare myself to Jesus, but, you know, the idea of, like, all these witnesses and people that encountered you being able to say, no, I met dude and he was solid. That's what I want.
Well, thank you for coming by the platform. I appreciate you stopping by Loca's Vibe Check and just giving me a one-on-one background on who you are. Please let us know how we can follow you. Let us know your Instagram.
Instagram, T Carriér Music. I think everything is T Carriér Music. Twitter. People still use that? Like, was it X?
Yeah, it's X now.
Whatever. Just follow me on Instagram and then we can venture from there. But I appreciate you having me on. I'm really, like, proud of what you're doing in here.
Thank you.
Like I was saying earlier, I'm glad to see a black woman on this side doing this. Not to say anybody else don't matter, but we need more black women in these type of spaces, in the podcast space, but also just in the media space and being able to represent what we do. So thank you for having me on. I just want to say that. Keep this part, for sure. For sure. You know what I mean? Thank you.
That wraps up another episode of Loca's Vibe Check. Please don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe.
Hell yeah.